We heard this whole area described as a moral issue today. You come from a company. Companies are supposed to make money. So for you, it's a financial issue. You've talked about it as a financial opportunity as well. How can it be a moral issue and a financial opportunity for a company?
I think we see it in terms of cost benefit, and we see very strong benefits in transparency, and we're sort of happy to be first mover on this, and we think there's advantages in that because it helps us with the community that you saw here, the NGO community, but it also helps us with our local communities, which is actually our most important stakeholder. But then there's the question of cost, and that is really dependent on the level of detail that's going to be required in these reports. Disclosure thresholds, are we going to have 185 disclosure thresholds, one for every country? Are they going to bounce up and down by that country's GDP? And those are the details that we need to get down to talking about and try and do it in a way which helps to fight corruption rather than helps accounting firms, audit firms to increase their fees.
Some of the other topics that we discussed at Common Visions close to the energy field, like the emissions trading scheme, which we've been discussing on our website. That's something where other areas are following Europe. Do you think this is something where if Europe takes a stand, other areas of the world will follow in a similar way?
I think we're seeing now the US, the EU, I would expect Canada, Australia both have very significant extractive industry stock exchanges to follow suit. We've had the Hong Kong Stock Exchange mentioned. So I think we are seeing a global trend, which fundamentally we agree with. I mean, we would much rather have a global level playing field than have EU companies disadvantaged. But there will potentially still be gaps out there, companies which aren't listed. And what we need to do is also find a similar way of bringing those companies and those governments into this transparency agenda, which overall is a global public good, like climate change and the others that you mentioned. And we see transparency as being a benefit to business because we need to get a license to operate if we're going to be miners in a country accepted by the local population, accepted by the government. And a really important part of that license to operate is the transparency of where our revenues are coming from, where they're being spent, what's going towards taxes, what's going towards suppliers, local suppliers and so on. So fundamentally we see transparency as being a way of proving ourselves as a good company that you would want to come and mine your natural resources. And at a time when the natural resource price is going up and there is money to be made out of it, we want to be able to get access to those resources.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.